Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Warsheep podcast. Listen, today we're going to be discussing some things. As we know, it's been this ongoing feud or saga that's been going on with this particular ministry, Straitway Truth Ministries, and not only the Warsheep podcast, but the Service of Yah, and a lot of other individuals who they've attacked came for, and things like that, right? Well, recently we've been having an onslaught or a slew of different videos coming from Brother Jordan, and he's been talking about a lot of his experience, right? Not only living on community, but also what took place during those times. I really want to dive into what's going on the Straitway Praise Land, ran by Kabeer, Gbaja, Biamila, somebody who's an ex-football NFL Hall of Famer, Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer, who has now become some cult leader here over in Green Bay. Let's take a listen as to what Jordan had to say.
Literally charging these saints to come and fellowship during Shabbat because they're going to be eating your food. When this brother is working on your land for free, his wife is helping make the meals. And on top of that, he's giving an offering based off of the dividends and stuff that he's getting from his accounts. I mean, he told me he was on par to give Pastor Dowell like $40,000 a year, something like that, in tithes and offerings. I'm so glad that whenever he stopped, I'm so glad he stopped giving it to Dowell. That is crazy. Maybe look at what Kabeer's giving Dowell, $6,000 a month. Like, it's no wonder why Dowell ain't gonna say nothing about this dude. You get $6,000 a month. Between Kabeer and the community and Tyler, Dowell's getting over $100,000 from one community. This is shit that's crazy. Hey, and you look at it, I was just on vacation. I think
So think about this, y'all. Over $100,000 per community. Wouldn't you think that you would turn this into a business, y'all? Come on now. Why wouldn't you turn this into a business that is profitable, right? To where you're setting up multiple different communities. You saw it on the first test run when it came to Pastor Rufus and his community. That was the first community that was established. Right? And out of the resources that came from that community, why wouldn't you encourage others to start other communities within your group? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not push them toward that direction and letting them know where the money needs to go? We all know the story and what he was saying, that all tithes and all offerings need to come to Straitway, Tennessee, need to come to the hub. He wants to have his hands on the money. So my thing is this, right? He's saying $100,000 per community. Yes, receiving plenty of money. But then, you know, of course, he wants to look at other men and try to bash them, try to put them down, things like that. Bro, you literally got multiple different communities that are funding your lifestyle. Funding your lifestyle for you and your wives. You understand what I'm saying? So when Jordan's talking about this, right? When Brother Jordan's talking about these things, he is not speaking on it from a place where there were no boots on the ground. He's not speaking from it. He's not speaking about it from a place where, he didn't have any real experience. He's not speaking speaking about it from a place of, listen, wanting to be malicious or wanting to just try to tear down for no reason. He's speaking about it from a place that makes a lot of sense, because when you look at it, a lot of these things through hindsight, it's really influencing and affecting a culture of people who just have a desire to serve Yah, and they go into this particular system that teaches them to serve man. Right? Let's continue.
Came back for a week, went to Praise Land, came back for another week, and it looks like he's on another vacation now. I don't know. Yet to be confirmed. The other thing I want to talk about at Praise Land is Erda. Brother Erdem from Germany. You know, now when I'm making these videos, I know Dowell ain't gonna hear me. I know Kabeer ain't gonna hear me. These videos really ain't for them. It's for you guys who are still part of the ministry, who hopefully your eyes are gonna be open to the bullshit that's going on. And also for you people who are looking at it from afar, or maybe considering to go there. I'm trying to give you a buyer beware, that you know exactly. That way, when you get in there, you can't say that you didn't know if you watch my videos. I've told you exactly what it is.
Furthermore, when it comes to these videos and making them, you can't say once you get in there and experience it for yourself and you actually go through it, you can't have any excuses. You can only be upset and angry with yourself, because you got plenty of content out here now that's being produced to let you know, to give you a more of an insight, a looking glass as to what's going on in these communities. You got individuals up there in Green Bay understanding that they're following a leader who literally said that Dowell is the one who gave him life. You understand what I'm saying?
I just want to let pass. I love you. I love you. You gave me life. You gave me life. You gave me life.
But they're following that, right? And they're serving under that. You know, this is a certain mentality that is coming from certain sex groups and cultures. That's not the way that you honor a man who may have taught you something potentially. You know, of course, we know who did not give you life, and it definitely was Dowell who didn't give me life, right? But my thing is that, you know, this is what they're going to be influenced by. That type of mentality is what's going to be perpetuated throughout the entirety of that particular group of people. And that's going to be a prime example that's going to be set for every other community. When somebody has a heart to say, Dowell, I love you, you gave me life. And that right there is the overall spirit that's over that ministry. You understand what I'm saying? A so-called ministry is actually just a code. That is the spirit that's over it. Let's continue.
They portray one thing on YouTube videos, but when you live there, it's a completely different thing. And the carrot that dangles in front of you is you when you're in off-land saying you're just trying to be on a community. You got people like Kabeer saying unless you're on community, you're not going to get into the kingdom of heaven. But then he has plausible deniability because he didn't phrase it in those exact words. But when you say something like community's not for everybody, yeah, but the kingdom of heaven is not for everybody. It's implied. It's obvious. But brother Erdem, when that brother came to Praise Land, we were told by Pastor Dowell to take it easy on this brother because he's young and he's never worked any physical job in his entire life. He's one of those guys who's like being groomed to be a politician. That's his grandiose goal, is to eventually become the leader of Germany and I think give it over to Dowell or some shit like that. Extremely grandiose. Anyways. 2,000 lives too is what he said he wanted. Grandiose for sure. But this brother, when he got to Praise Land, I think he got there the day before I had my son, my second son. A few days later, I'm getting blasted in a meeting where Kabeer is slandering me in front of the whole community for I think like 2 or 3 hours. And I just let him run on, let him say all of his stuff, and I wasn't going to defend myself. He gave me the opportunity to, and I did. I knew how it was going to go. You defend yourself with the narcissist, you're wrong. If you don't say anything, you're wrong. You know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, in their mind, essentially.
And you know this, man.
When this brother heard all these slanders and Israeli accusations against me falsely, the brother gave Kabeer enough money to give every single brother $100. So all the brothers got $100. And to them, that's a lot. That's like 2 months' allowance, right? But he specifically told Kabeer not to give me any. So I didn't get it. I didn't even know about it until after I heard him left. Kabeer had mentioned it, right? But while this brother was there, obviously his mind was evilly affected against me if he's going to give every mother $100.
So let me say this real quick, y'all. Arno, if I'm not mistaken, is the brother that's from Germany. You know, if I'm not mistaken, okay. Now I could be wrong about who I'm currently got pictured in my mind right now, but this particular brother, just to give you some context, when of course down on the land, he approached Robert Mathis, right, and he got on all fours, okay, all the way down on all fours, okay. Now this is if you were to look at this in Chinese culture. Getting down on all fours and bowing mean that you have done something to transgress or you've done something wrong and you're begging for forgiveness, right? If we were to look at it, bowing in Asian culture, okay? It's also another form of the highest honor you can show to someone who's in a position of authority or leadership, right? He's getting down on all fours, but that's Chinese culture, okay? This is not Hebrew culture, it's Chinese culture. He's getting down on all fours. And now, who did he learn that behavior from, right? Who did he learn the behavior from of getting down on all fours and bowing to a mere man?
I just want to let pass. I love you. I love you. You gave me life. You gave me life.
And that's why I say that this is the overall spirit within that, that's over that particular cult ministry, is because, I'm seeing him do it and I picked him up, okay? Literally. I'm like, brother, get up. I picked him up off the floor. I'm like, what are you doing? And then later I felt a little bit bad, like convicted, or not even convicted. I felt a little bad. And I thought, well, maybe this is this brother's culture. I'm not too sure where he's from, but that's not Hebrew culture, right? So I'm like, maybe it's the brother's culture to bow on all fours and to get down on all fours and to give that a man that level. So I asked him, is this your culture? Like, what you know what I mean? Why are you bowing? Why are you getting down on all fours before a man? That's how you knew I wasn't going to make it long. You understand what I'm saying? Because shit like that was like a no for me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely wasn't going to make it long with that type of mentality of what is this? You know what I mean? No. And I wouldn't allow anybody else to bow like that to me. I don't care what position of leadership that I've held. I don't care about that. You get what I'm saying? Another man bowing to me, getting down on all fours. And Mathis just sat there and watched them. He just sat there and received it and watched them. But that's how the slave land, right? That's how the slave land individuals get down, because their fearless leader, right, has that mentality.
I just want to let pass. I love you. I love you. You gave me life. You gave me life.
Man worship, man praising, ass kissing mentality, and it just is what it is. Let's keep it a buck. That's how the slave land brothers get down. You understand what I'm saying? They're also the type of individuals who are very passive aggressive or aggressive, secretly aggressive, whatever it may be. They think that they're doing something big, right? They believe that they're holding a certain persona that is untouched or unmatched, right? That they're bigger, better than everybody, right? And that's just kind of what it is. That's just the spirit that comes from it. And that's every single one of them have been guilty of it. You understand what I'm saying? As well as, of course, Jordan. Jordan is also understanding of that spirit because he was once in that spirit, right? He was once a part of that group that behaved that way. You understand what I'm saying? So let's continue.
Strategically tells Kabeer not to get his face. I already know where this brother's mind at. But if you know me, I treat everybody the same. I will love you as a brother. I'm very encouraging. I'll try to help you with deliverance, whatever. Most people got that testimony of me. And if you don't, put it in the comments. Let everybody else know who I am, how I treated you, or whatever. I'm not ashamed to admit where I was wrong, and I'm not afraid to repent to you. Put it in the comments. I will personally call you. We can have a conversation about it. And if I'm wrong, I will repent to you if I've treated you wrong in any way. I just want to be right with you, but this hurt him, brother. He gets there, he's working for the companies, even though his dad specifically told him that he's not supposed to be doing any work. He was actually supposed to be shadowing Kabeer when it came to doing his like financial stuff, so I think he could get some credits and stuff for his college. Hopefully his college sees this video, he sees that what he's doing is lying to him. But while he's there, he decides that he's going to do an ice bath. He tells the brothers, I'm going to do the ice bath. You guys want to do the ice bath? I'm going to do the ice bath. I say, okay. So he goes up to do the ice bath, and how they were doing it is you'd sit in the ice bath for, I think, 2 minutes, and then you'd go into the hot tub for 3 minutes, and you do that 4 times, right? So Erdem did that 1 time, and then he was like, I ain't doing this again. Nope, one was enough. And then Kabeer's like, no, you said, the brothers are like, you gave your word, you got to do this. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So they're like, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, then you're going to have to do 200 push-ups. If you guys have seen Erdem's like 300 pounds. This guy's like morbidly obese. And he can't do 200 push-ups. I don't think Kabeer or David could do 200 push-ups right now if you asked him. So that's what he has to do. As he's doing the push-ups, if he stops and like can't do it, then they add 50 more push-ups onto his total, right? By the next day, guy's got over 1,000 push-ups that he has to do, that is just stacked up as like a tab, right? So then they're having him work on the land, right? What they're doing is he's got to take wood from one side of the 18-acre property, put it in a wheelbarrow, and then walk it all the way to the other side and then stack it. And do this, I don't know how many times. He had these giant, if you know the size of a pallet, imagine you made like a whole big box out of a pallet and then filled it up completely with split wood. You had to do like 8 or 10 of them things and walk it up these hills on this gravel path where most of the gravel's been washed out. And you know what I mean? Like, that's not a simple little tiny little task, right? But it's not too hard for anybody to do. Anybody could do that, right? But what Kabeer would do is he would give him he would say you got to do this many loads before you can come inside. He told all the brothers, do not let this brother come inside until he is done with his tasks. The brother would be out there till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There was some days he was sleeping outside because he did not finish his task and he didn't have the energy to finish his task.
Let's stop that right there. Let's stop it right there, y'all. Because this type of stuff is the reason why I'm telling you that man worship is crazy. Because when I'm seeing this person bow down on all fours, that's how you treat a man who will literally bend over backwards for another man who's fully in death or fully deep and off into man worship. That's how you treat him. You treat him like that. You treat him like that because you know you can get away with it. The level of threat is none, right? So if you're not a threat, and you're not somebody who's going to stand up against the orders, all right? And you're just going to go with it, right? And be treated any old kind of way. And I promise you, in this ministry, they will do it to you. They'll misuse and abuse you all day long. It's almost like a permanent hazing. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like a permanent hazing to where you're being hazed, right? So where you're being worked to the bone. I'm trying to tell you now, the way that he's explaining it, the way he's describing this brother and how he's suffering, right? And they put him through all of this. He can't even come into the house unless he's finished his loads. And that is on its own ridiculous and demeaning, right? Tearing you down as a man. And the reason why he would have to suffer through this is because of your level of being complicit, your level of being just a simp, right? And yourself and not standing up for yourself. That's the reason why you would have to go through stuff like this in that ministry. When they know that you're not gonna give no pushback, I promise you, if you act like you's a straight up bitch, they're gonna treat you like one. They're gonna treat you like one. You understand what I'm saying? And then people jump in the comments. And I'm gonna stand on it. And they can get in my DM. You can get in my DM all you want every day. Yeah, and people want to jump in the comments. People want to do this, that, and the third. Oh, those are lies. Da da da. No, please. Then what is the truth? Present us the truth that will match, or that will rebut, or that would expose whatever lies you believe that we're telling over here. You understand what I'm saying? Present the truth that will rebut the lies, right? Let's continue.
And they would refuse to let him come inside. Mind you, while he's doing this stuff, they're having the brother do push-ups, 50 push-ups or 25 push-ups, whatever it was, in between him carrying this stuff. So this brother's just becoming extremely physically exhausted. He's like going through boot camp there at Praise Land, and he had no idea that this is what they were gonna put on, right?
It's not boot camp; it's a public. It's a hazing, and the energy. You know where it comes from. You know where it comes from. You understand what I'm saying? You know where it comes from. That level of energy comes from there. It's from the head all the way up, all the way down. Because this dude is morbidly obese. He's a little overweight, and they talk bad about bigger people. If you're not in the position of leadership, they don't care. They're going to talk real bad about you, right? They're going to tell you that you need to lose that weight. And the person who really influences people to want to behave like this, to be very cruel to each other like this, and that wants to behave like this, that want to be cruel to each other, things like that. The one who really encourages it is, like I said, the top of the spear, tip of the spear. The guy who encourages people to do this type of behavior.
Dowell.
Encouraging it all the way through and through. You got to understand that that will influence a man to be extremely cruel towards his brothers, towards his sisters, towards his wife, right? Because of the level of influence. To treat a brother like that because they want him to lose weight. That's the whole goal. The goal is to get him to drop weight. And so they're brutally, and then a lot of this is them lashing out and taking out frustrations onto this brother, and it's a level of satisfaction, right? He's satisfied and being able to order people around. I promise you, my thing is you can see the level of just complete drunken with control. You can see it on his face, on Kabeer Biamilah's face. When he was able to command Jordan and Ryan, right, like dogs, to go in to that particular elementary school, fully armed to the teeth, just to prove a point that he can be able to send hitters. You got to understand that he was drunk off the power of being able to be able to command those orders, right? He treated them like complete dogs, like he treated them like they were animals that can be commanded and controlled at will.
Sit.
With all the confidence in the world, y'all. With all of the confidence in the world. So it's been a thing as to where when you take a look at a lot of his older videos when he first came in and all of that was taking place, you can see it in his face. You can see it in his demeanor. You can see it on how much he truly, thoroughly enjoyed being able to command people, command them to do certain things that was not the best, that was not in their best interest. Let's continue.
This brother, he decides that he's going to tell Kabeer, just get rid of my push-ups, have mercy on me, and instead of me doing the push-ups, I'll just fast for 3 weeks. I'll do a 3-week fast, and I'll only eat on Shabbat. So Kabeer says, okay. So that's what he ends up doing. He's working all week, 6 days out of the week. Then he's fasting while he's working, and then he'd eat on Shabbat. He did a whole week. They did another whole week. 8. This brother, by the end of this, he left Praise Land early. Like weeks early. I think like a month early, because he couldn't stand how Kabeer was treating him. This brother was begging Kabeer in tears to light up the workload. And when you look at the law, it tells you not to rule over your servants cruelly, like how the Egyptians ruled over the people. Why see this brother's doing push-ups? You have a brother Ben literally holding a live snake in front of his face as he's doing push-ups. Tell me I'm wrong, Erdem. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you weren't crying when I gave you a hug that one day after a couple weeks you being there. You're crying on my shoulder, telling me that you were thinking that you want to leave and that your mind towards me was evilly affected, and you were saying, man, brother, you are a good brother. You are actually a good brother. You and Brother Ross are actually treating me with love and kindness here. You are the only brothers who are treating me that way. His whole mindset changed. And me and Ross are trying to convince him to stay, to tough it out, you know, to not quit, to not whatever, to be an encouragement to the brother. Long story short, brother can't take it anymore, goes back to church. And then I see I'm reading my comments, him putting this stupid stuff on there and how he learned all, you know, these great valuable lessons while he was there. Bullshit, dude. Bullshit. You quit while you were there. And then when you were gone, every single day, the brothers were making fun of you. Every single day. Gossiping about you at the dinner table every single day like a bunch of high school girls.
Y'all hear that? I mean, that's what I'm saying about these individuals in this ministry, man. I'm going to tell you right now that they all behave just like women. They have a gossiping spirit that's heavy within that ministry. Gossiping spirits all over the place. They like to run their mouth. They like to talk, right? They really do. They all do.
It's turned into bitch ass niggas.
And that's how they behave. They behave just like that. When he says what he says, he ain't listen. That's how they all behave. It's all throughout that. You got to understand the level of the spiritual issues that's going on within that place. The spiritual problems, right? That's just but one of them. That's one of the worst ones because it's amongst the men. Not only the women, but the men are gossiping, slandering, but besmirching somebody's character. And this all is in private. This is damaging somebody's reputation in private. And then you believe that they may hold you down, right? Hold you down because you sacrifice so much. No, they don't give a shit about your sacrifice. They don't care about your sacrifice. They don't honor that. They don't see that. They don't know no good with that. I'm trying to tell you now, they could care less right now if you sacrifice $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and if you were to decide to leave upon your exit, they will slander you, spit in your face, throw mud on your back, and you just gave them $20,000 in order to exit. No, there's nothing honorable about what you did. It was only a thing that they wanted from you. And then once you gave it, they were entitled to it. And then you never even given it to them before, never sacrificed a thing for them before, never even worked to the bones for them before. You understand what I'm saying? And they wonder why people are running away from this ministry.
Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you?
You wonder why they're running. Let's continue.
I try to check him on it, bro. I would try to check him. He's not here. Why the fuck are we talking about him? Like, what have we become? This is what we're going to become? A brother who's struggling in an area. We're just going to sit here and gossip and slander about him while he's not even there to hear us. What does that help? Nothing. Isn't it everything that you're supposed to speak? Isn't it supposed to be that which is the good of edifying? Isn't that what you're supposed to speak? I mean, the world says if you got nothing good to say, don't say it at all, right? Just utterly ridiculous. And I got to bring this information out here because you guys just don't know. You guys just didn't hear these stories of this stuff. You know, I think it's crazy. When I think about Davis Vineyard, in these groups, and I think about the Levites. You look at Ahab. Ahab wanted to get Naboth's vineyard. Don't you think that he should have obeyed those who have the rule over him? But what did he do? He said no. He said no to a narcissist. And what happened to him? Murder. Murdered in cold blood to take what was his. Now they don't just straight up kill you, but they'll say if you don't sign this contract, then you're gonna be kicked out with nothing. You have to start your life over. Submit or quit, brother. Then every decision that you have to make becomes, well, if I don't do this, is it worth being kicked out? I don't know. So then you just gloss over.
So submit or quit. Submit or quit. This is the energy. This is the spirit. This is the so-called people of the Most High. Submit or quit. Submit all of your assets. Give up everything that you own, or quit. Quit what? Serving. Quit the ministry. Quit this. Quit that. Submit or quit. How are we showing some sort of love or compassion for one another? And our motto is submit or quit. Can't do that. Let's continue.
For all the little things until something big comes up at your door. You look at the Levites. You know that the tithe was given to the Levites because the Levites didn't have inheritance. But then you look at Straitway, the only people who are controlling the lands and the properties and the finances is what they would call the Levites. The now spiritual Levites that deserve your offerings. Ridiculous. You know,
yeah, and it is ridiculous, y'all. It's absolutely ridiculous. Y'all go check him out, man. It's of course Brother Jordan. You know, go check out the rest of what he had to say on his channel, on his video. And you know, you see what some of the things that you have to endure and experience when you're dealing with this particular ministry that will have you caught up and have you you know, immersed in this man worship, this man serving, man pleasing, bowing down on all fours type of mentality in which they mistreat, abuse you, put their foot on your neck until you can no longer take it any longer, right? To where you want to leave, to where you leave, and this is what the end is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe, and holler back at your boy. This is your boy Barak with the Warsheep podcast, man. We'll see you guys in the next vlog. Peace and shalom, shalom.